A high speed. You know what's crazy? Most people will go their whole lives and never even try. They'll tell themselves, Pete, one day I'll start my own company, but one day becomes next year. Pete, then it becomes never. And the harsh truth is that someone else is building your idea right now. Not better, not smarter, just faster. If you're watching this, it's not random. You probably feel it too. Bad pull, speed. You were meant to build something. Maybe you're stuck in a 9 to 5 you hate. Speed. Maybe you're sitting on an idea but don't know where to start. And, well, I'm going to walk you through it, all of it, at a high speed, because I've been there, sleeping under my desk, eating hot dogs at night to keep the company alive. People said PayPal would fail. That Tesla was insane, and SpaceX, they literally laughed like it was a punchline. But we did it anyway. And that's the thing I want you to hear. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to not quit. By the way, where are you listening from? Drop it in the comments. I read them. I seriously do. And also like and subscribe to this channel. It tells me this matters to you. So, let's start with one question I want you to ask yourself. Are you solving a real problem or just building something easy? I started my first company, Zip2, because I noticed something dumb. Newspapers didn't have maps or directions online. Like, they were basically paper Google. It didn't make sense. So we changed that. It wasn't about money. It was about solving something that was clearly broken. Don't start a company to get rich. Started to solve a problem you care about. Otherwise, when it gets hard, you'll quit. The best startups come from frustration. Look around your life. What's broken? What's inefficient? What pisses you off? That's your startup idea. Now, here's where 99% of people fail. They don't do anything about it. They'll say, someone should fix that. You need to be the one who does. Your first product is going to suck. And that's okay. Tesla's first prototype, it was so janky, it looked like a science fair project, but it worked, and that was enough to raise money and keep going. Don't be embarrassed by version 1. Be embarrassed if you never launch. Most people are paralyzed by perfection, but perfection doesn't build companies. Action does. Most companies die in what I call the hell zone. You know what that is? It's month 7, you're broke, customers aren't coming. Your friends stop answering texts, your family thinks you're delusional. That's when 90% give up. But if you just push through that zone, everything changes. Tesla almost died 3 times. SpaceX failed 3 rockets in a row. But we kept going speed. One mistake I see a lot is people trying to make something perfect before they release it. That's not how innovation works. If you're not at least a little embarrassed by the first version, you launched too late. When we launched the Falcon 1, it failed twice. But we kept going because real progress comes from iteration, not hesitation. Build a basic version of your product, just the core function. Get it in front of people as early as possible. Collect real feedback, not opinions from friends. Don't wait for perfect, wait for useful. Also, don't build for investors. Build for customers. If people want what you're making, investors will come to you. Your job is to make something that solves a meaningful problem and then improve it fast. When you launch, don't think about getting millions of users. Think about 10, then 100. That's where it starts. Most people chase scale too early. But if you can't get 10 people to truly care, why would 10 dozen focus on building something that people love, not just like talk to your users directly? Show up where they are. Online communities, forums, industry groups, ask them what's broken in their life. Then ask if your product actually helps. If it doesn't, adjust quickly. You don't need to spend on ads. Speed, you need to understand people. Tesla didn't do traditional marketing. People talked about it because it solved a problem in a new way. Create something people talk about voluntarily. Respond to every piece of feedback early on and show you care. Use their language, not yours. This early user feedback is where product market fit is developed. Every great startup has something others can't easily copy. That's your unfair advantage. And if you don't have one, you need to create it. At Tesla, it was the battery tech and vertical integration. At SpaceX, it was reusable rockets for your startup. It might be proprietary software, unique data, deep insight, or just pure execution speed. But it has to be something real, not just branding. Ask yourself, what do I know that most people don't? What problem have I lived through that gives me an edge? Or can I outwork everyone to the point where my execution becomes the moat? Sometimes your unfair advantage is just being the first to move fast and keep going when others quit. Also, don't chase easy ideas. If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. High speed, that mindset creates gravity. It attracts people who want to work on something meaningful. And that's powerful. At a high speed, starting a company is like eating glass and staring into the abyss. There will be moments where things break, money runs out, people quit, you question everything. The companies that survive aren't the ones that avoid pain. They're the ones that keep moving through it. And always know your burn rate. Know exactly how long you can survive without new revenue. Reduce costs early. Stay lean. Every dollar matters. Resourceful. If a door closes, climb through the window. At SpaceX, we were days away from bankruptcy after 3 rocket failures. We had just enough for one more attempt. That 4th flight worked. If it hadn't, we wouldn't be here. Don't give up. Unless staying down makes more sense than standing up. When things go wrong, zoom out and ask, what am I solving? Does it still matter? If yes, then keep going, learn to adjust, improve, and adapt, but don't stop. Your first hires are very important. You should work with people you'd be okay being stuck on a spaceship with. That's how I chose the early team at SpaceX. You don't need big resumes. You need people who are smart, driven, and relentless. Hire based on talent density, not just credentials. Test people with hard problems, not interviews. Choose people who take ownership like it's their company. Don't hire friends unless they can outperform. Don't keep average people just to fill seats. It slows you down. Don't build a team that needs to be managed constantly. Also, don't outsource the early work. If you're not coding, designing, or selling, your company isn't really yours. You should be doing the core work. That's how you earn credibility with your team. And that's how you move fast without needing 100 people for. You even think about scaling, stop, and ask yourself this. Is it working because it's good or just because you're lucky right now? Most people rush to grow before they've built anything solid. It's like trying to build the second floor before you've poured the foundation. I've made that mistake. At XCOM, we moved fast. The product wasn't fully stable yet, and that caused real problems. So here's the checkpoint. Before you scale, are customers using it without you begging them? Are they telling other people about it on their own? Are they paying you and coming back? If not, don't scale. Fix the problem, simplify it, and obsess over it. You don't need more code, more people, more hype. You just need more clarity. Let me be clear. Execution is everything. Speed, you can have the best idea in the world, but if you can't make it work, it's worthless at a high speed. I've seen so many startups fail, not because the idea was bad, because they couldn't actually build it, deliver it, speed, or adapt when things went wrong. At SpaceX, our first 3 launches failed one after another. We were burning through cash speed. People were leaving, but we didn't quit. We took every failure apart line by line. We fixed the engines, and tightened the margins, speed, and the 4th launch, it worked, and that saved the company. So that's at a high speed. Here's the real difference between those who make it and those who don't. The ones who win, they keep going. They iterate high speed. They learn, and they don't take failure personally. You're not going to get it perfect the first time. No one does. Speed. But if you can learn fast, move fast, and execute relentlessly, you will survive. And eventually, you'll win. And that's what matters. Once your company starts working, it's easy to lose sight of why it exists. Growth brings complexity. Never forget this. The product must always come first. At Tesla, we focus relentlessly on improving the product. Same with SpaceX. Every rocket, every launch, every iteration was better than the last. Speed, scaling a company doesn't mean adding layers. It means increasing the value you deliver without compromising speed or mission. Speed, protect your core values. If you lose those, you'll lose what made your company worth building. And most of all, keep learning. If you care enough to obsess, you'll build something that log